So we're going to look at Desantis's cowardly response to a question about Trump's response to January 6th. And let's just play the clip here, and I'll have commentary on the other side for you guys.
That Trump violated the peaceful transfer of power.
Sorry, I didn't quite start it right at the start, so I'm going to rewind it.
Do you believe that Trump violated the peaceful transfer of power, a key principle that of American democracy that we must uphold?
Are you in high school?
Yeah.
Where do you go to school? You go around here?
Vermont, but I live in New Hampshire.
Oh, okay. So you're from Vermont. Well, thank you for the question. So here's what I know.
Let me just, I'm just going to pause it here. Sorry, I said I was going to play the clip, but I just want to point out how, like, terrified this, like, high schooler sounds to be talking to DeSantis. Like, is it just nerves talking to a politician that's powerful, maybe? Or is it just DeSantis is just a weird guy, and it's really hard to relate to him, and he doesn't appear or act or say things like how a human being would say or act or do things. Yeah, let's just listen to his voice. He sounds this high school student sounds extremely uncomfortable.
In high school?
Yeah.
Where do you go to school? You go around here?
Vermont, but I live in New Hampshire.
Oh, okay. So you're from Vermont. Well, thank you for the question. So here's what I know. If this election is about Biden's failures and our vision for the future, we are going to win. If it's about relitigating things that happened 2-3 years ago, we're going to lose. And so I can tell you this. I can tell you this. I can point you to Tallahassee, Florida on, I believe, January 5th, 2023. We had a transition of power from my first administration to my second because I won re-election in a historic fashion. And at the end of the day, you know, we need to win and we need to get this done. So I wasn't anywhere near Washington that day. I have nothing to do with what happened that day. Obviously, I didn't enjoy seeing, you know, what happened. But we've got to go forward on this stuff. We cannot be looking backwards and be mired in the past.
Mired in the past. That's what DeSantis's characterization of being concerned about what Trump's actions were on January 6th. Mired in the past. And he's saying, oh, well, my last name's Winner. I won re-election on January 5th, 2023. That should be what matters, is winning, winning, winning. I'm a winner. I win. Bro, Trump is the number one candidate in the race that you are running in. You cannot get to the point of being against Joe Biden in the general election if you do not fucking win the primary, you stupid idiot. Okay? You have to hit Trump on something. You have to try to consolidate the never Trump support or anti-Trump support around yourself. Okay? This wish-washy approach of, oh, well, I wasn't in Washington. I had nothing to do with it. I don't even know what January 6th. What's that? Isn't that? What's that? What is it? What happened? Like, dude, it's so dumb. It's so dumb. Come on, DeSantis. You're running against Trump, okay? Who the January 6th riots were a direct result, as we saw in the select committee's investigation, where they did public trials, or I guess not a trial, but a public hearings they did last summer, and the American people saw just how Trump's actions and inaction, frankly, his inaction, how it contributed to the events of the day getting worse and worse and worse. And it's like, People fucking died. People died. You know what I mean? Ashley Babbitt, okay? This girl who was killed has become a huge martyr in the GOP. And Ashley Babbitt, okay? Trump is responsible for Ashley Babbitt's death. Trump is responsible for Officer Sitnik's death, who's a Trump supporter, by the way. Okay? Trump has had a direct role to play in amplifying the riot. So for DeSantis to pretend like, oh, well, we got to focus on the future. We got to focus on Biden's failures and Biden's shortcomings. Bro, Trump is walloping you in the polls. Walloping you. Walloping you. There's an article I read the other day and did a video about how fucking New Hampshire is looking like it's going to slip through DeSantis' fingers and is now might be impossible for him to win. We're in freaking July of 2023 and we're already talking about how New Hampshire is out of reach for DeSantis. And his response is to fucking say that he didn't have anything to do with January 6th. Bro, you're going against Trump in the primary. What the hell strategy is this? It is just absolutely dumbfounding how just idiotic Ron DeSantis is. Like, here's the response you give, okay? Here's the response. You go, yeah, January 6th was an awful day in American history. And no matter how much we disagree with the Democrats, and no matter how much we disagree with their policies, the 2020 election was validated. The 2020 election was won by Joe Biden, and it was because of Trump's handling of XYZ. And I, as a candidate, I would do these things differently to the point that I wouldn't have to worry about having a coup attempt, because I'm going to win my re-election if you elect me. So I'm not even going to have to worry about that. But the fact is that Trump is a loser. Trump lost in 2020 to a president to a candidate that should have been beatable and should have been easier to defeat. Whether or not that's true or not, I don't know. But you say that. You say, I'm not going to have to worry about having a coup attempt. Because my policies are going to be so popular with America that they're going to vote me in for re-election. And I think that's kind of what DeSantis was trying to say when he was going, oh, well, I won re-election, or so I'm a winner. But the issue is that he's not gaining any of the Never Trump support. And as long as the field remains so split, where we have Tim Scott, Nikki Haley, Asa Hutchinson, fucking who else? All these fucking people that are running in the Republican race, okay? A whole bunch of them now. Like 12, 13 people who are running. Chris Christie, right? Trump's base and Trump's voters are not going anywhere. If we've seen if the polling that's existed has been at all accurate, they're not going anywhere. The Trump supporters are there to stay. The Trump supporters, Trump said it himself, he could go out and walk on Fifth Avenue or whatever the fuck he said, and you shoot somebody dead, and it's not going to lose him any support. And there's some truth to that. look at all the stuff that's happened to Trump that would be completely disqualifying of any other candidate. But for some reason, Trump, it's a cult. Okay, it's a cult of support is what it is. And DeSantis, he's making the false calculation that if he doesn't attack Trump too hard, and if we kind of just, as much as we can, not talk about Trump and talk about wokeism and talk about Biden and talk about the Democrats, then what will happen is maybe if Trump is indicted and indicted and indicted, maybe the Trump people wake up and smell like coffee, and then they go, I still like Trump. He's still my guy, but maybe there's somebody out there that could have a better chance of winning the election. Who's this DeSantis guy? He hasn't said that many bad things about Trump. I could go and support him now. Okay, Trump, I'm gonna not vote for you. I'm gonna vote for DeSantis because he's not going too hard against you. No, that's not how you fucking win a campaign, bro. There's 10 plus candidates who are running, okay, and their support is piddly in many instances. But guess what? When you add up Nikki Haley's 3%, Mike Pence's 2%, Chris Christie's 4% or whatever, Asa Hutchinson's 1%. Guess what, dude? If you make yourself the anti-Trump guy, you're gonna gain support of people who have fallen out of Trump's favor, and you're going to be building a coalition that is seen as having the strength and having the ability to confront the former president. But for some godforsaken reason, he won't do it. He won't do it. It's just sad. It's just sad. And DeSantis' campaign is one of the worst campaigns I have ever seen, okay? In my relatively short time paying close attention to American politics, about 8 years or so now, I've been paying pretty close attention. But yeah, it's got to be the worst campaign I've ever seen. And when DeSantis loses, okay, there's going to be a book written about DeSantis' campaign that's going to be titled "How to Not Run a Campaign Against Donald Trump." Or you could just name it "How to Not Run a Campaign Against a Strong Incumbent Candidate." Who, Trump is not an incumbent in terms of his official title, right? He's not the president. He's not the incumbent president, but he's enjoying the incumbent advantage that the incumbent presidents have against the other candidate. He's enjoying it because of his recent presidency, as well as his continued forays into American politics after his ouster from office. Trump has been, continually at the forefront of policymaking and of just really he's the standard bearer of what direction the Republican Party goes on any one issue. So yeah, gotta come up with some better strategy, DeSantis, and powering away and saying that January 6th has nothing to do with you, so we shouldn't be talking about it or shouldn't be thinking about it, and we should just be thinking about Joe Biden. Nah, not gonna work, dude. Not gonna work.